Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2. In this video, I'm going to share with you the best test exam simulator I found after trying several. And I'm going to share with you 10 things you need to know about using practice exams. 7 through 10 are game changers that you need to know, so stick around for the full video. Remember to subscribe to my channel and also like and share with someone who might find this of value. Okay, so let's talk about the electronic tools, the exam stimulator. So I found all of these different vendors and different resources online, on YouTube, and all over the place, Reddit, everywhere, saying that they had all these exam simulator questions. Okay, so even my course that I took for my 35 hours, they had an exam simulator. But what I found is that I don't know, it felt like I needed to go to the source. So I went to, I was reading something in Reddit, and a lot of the folks on Reddit were saying, hey, you have to have SH. What's SH? SH is study hall. That's a tool that you can purchase from PMI. I didn't know that. I don't know why they don't have it plastered all over the PIM book. I don't know why they don't have it plastered all over the PMP website or the PMI website. I don't know, but that tool right there was the game changer. The first time I took the exam, when I failed, I did not use study hall. Well, actually I did. I found it on Reddit about 2 days before my test, and so I went ahead and I did one of the simulator practice exams maybe one time, and I think I scored maybe 60 or 70, somewhere between 60 and 70, I believe. But anyway, I just went ahead and kept my exam date, thought I was ready, and I was not. So anyway, the study hall should be a requirement because it's a $49 study package that you buy online that has some of the coolest things that I have seen. Okay, and it's the closest. The exam simulators they have in there, those simulators are the closest to the PMP exam. Okay, I know because I wasted a lot of money on all those different other tools that everybody, oh, buy this, buy that. I wasted a lot of time on those. And sometimes, in fact, those questions that they had were so long and so crazy that it was throwing me off. The PMI study hall is the closest. They have 2 exam simulators that are 4-hour exam, okay? And they also have about 17 in the English language. They have 17 practice exams that are broken down by the different processes. And then they have about 717, I believe it is, practice questions that are just like exam questions that you can practice on. And the way I did it was I would go ahead and read the exam, I would take the exam, everything that I got wrong, of course I would go back and look at the question because they give you an explanation and a reference to the books or online, wherever this question came from. They have a reference in that when you're going through your answers. When you're reviewing your answer, there's a reference to the material that question was based on. It's great. So I sat there with my PMBOK a lot of times or my Agile guide, and I would look up whatever the question I got wrong, and I would understand why I got it wrong so that I wouldn't get it wrong again, okay? Not just memorizing. You can't, this is not a test where you're gonna memorize concept. It's not gonna ask you what is a project charter more than likely. It's gonna ask you what do you do with it, okay? When you use it, that type of thing. So, the questions are structured like this. It's gonna ask you, if you're a project manager, what do you do? What do you do first? What should you have done? Okay, so it's scenario based. The questions are scenario based. And it's putting the project manager, remember you gotta get that PMI, PMP mindset. And with that mindset, as a project manager, what would you do? What would you do first? Given this scenario, given another scenario, what would you do next? What would you do? What should you have done? All of those type, it's basically scenario questions. And the first time I took the test, I did have some of the questions that were based on, when do you use the risk management or whatever, some more term or processy kind of questions. But the second time I took that test, they came at me with those scenarios, and they came at me with those scenarios hard. So it was way different. Now, back to the exam tools, the study hall. I 100% recommend you get study hall. I took those two. They only have two. They have two versions of the 4-hour exam for you to take. And I think it's 175 questions in each of those. And I would practice my speed. I would do, I think I had it down to where my goal was to do each question within a minute. If I didn't do it in a minute, I wanted to pass on it and come back to it. So I would practice that. I would try to keep my speed, try to make sure I could get through that test within 3 hours instead of 4 hours. Those kind of things, because you want to make sure that you're ready. And like I said, you got to have a strategy, and part of your strategy is going to be that time. That's why you need that 4-hour exam to practice on. Okay, I talked to PMI about the questions on the 2 4-hour exams that they give you in study hall, and they told me that the questions are the same, but they redo them, they shuffle them up or whatever for you. Every time you take them, they're shuffled up. So, but anyway, 175 questions, trust me, you're not going to remember. It's going to look like a new question, a new exam every time you take it, for the most part. So I found that invaluable. I took that, the second time, before my second exam, I took that study hall I took those 4-hour exams probably 6 times. I took a little break in between and those type of things, but I took it probably 6 times, and I studied the things that I missed. I also paid attention to the things I got right, because I wanted to see if there was any patterns or that I noticed, or just kind of things that, what made the answer right? What did they choose? You just want to look at not just the questions that you get wrong, but pay attention to some of the questions that you get right. Just see if you see any patterns and that type of thing, and you'll be fine. So, other than the study hall, the second time I took the test, I didn't use anything else.